Hello everyone, welcome back to 48 Now. I'm your digital host, Tatiana White, and I am excited to be joined by celebrated author and educator, Laura W. Carter. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm so excited to have you here and to hear all about this STEAM book that you have created.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, of course. And so Laura, she is a native of Oxford, Alabama, but she, her husband, and her son currently reside in Huntsville. She's a teacher at New Century Technology High School, the author of STEMinist Force, and is the author of her recently new book that she released, children's book, What Will I Be from A to Z? And so this book introduces young readers to the world of STEAM careers while celebrating diversity and imagination. Laura is here to share the story behind her book and how she hopes it will inspire the next generation of innovators and leaders. And so, Laura, first of all, congratulations on your new book.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course. And so, What Will I Be from A to Z? So for those who are not familiar, can you give a little bit of an overview of this book?
So it's an alphabet book, first and foremost, that takes children and parents or educators even through 26 different jobs related to STEAM that children could potentially be interested in. So starting with astronaut and going all the way through zoologist.
And that's so awesome that you're introducing that, because I know some kids, they might not even realize these are different things they can do.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Yes. And so what inspired you to write this book? When did you kind of start brainstorming and thinking about publishing it and everything?
So this book is sort of a blended inspiration from both my son, who was 3 when it was initially written, but also from my job at New Century, where I watch students matriculate through year after year, specializing in different STEM jobs, in particular computer science or biomedical or engineering, and then they go on to do really cool things. But I also really like the arts, and I think the arts are important, and we share a building with Lee, who has an incredible art magnet program, and so I thought, well, I want to bring in the A and make it STEAM as well. So I wanted to have a book that would introduce my son to something, but also could be used in an educational setting for early literacy.
Awesome. Yes, and I think this is a great start too, to be able to do that and having it be like an alphabet book as well, but just like a little spin to it with like educational components like that. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes. And so you're also a teacher at New Century Technology High School, and so how has this experience influenced, like in the classroom, how did that influence your writing a little bit, and have you implemented this in anything that you have at your school?
So the students are the inspiration. I teach history, so I don't really have a lot of hands-on with, the engineering or biomedical or computer science, aside from little projects that I ask them to do in my class. It's really just being inspired by, they're doing things that when I was in high school, I didn't even know would exist.
Yes.
And they are incredible at it, and like I said, they go on to be CEOs and computer scientists, and they're writing programs, but they're also engineers, and beyond that they go into law fields and all these other things, and I just think it's really cool to celebrate that.
Yes, it definitely is, and I know that that's probably amazing to see your students go from your classroom to these like STEAM type of careers, and being able to also write a story about it too, so it's like the younger children can see that it's possible through older children. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, and so do you incorporate any of these lessons at all, or have your students ever read any of these books, or how have they responded to them?
So my students are very sweet. They're very
Yes.
supportive. They occasionally will send me pictures, if they see a STEMinist Force in Barnes & Noble, they've sent me pictures of them with it. But so it is an elementary geared book. So as far as in my classroom, where I teach advanced level U.S. history, so we don't do too much of this in my classroom, but I know my son's school invited me in to read a STEMinist Force to their second graders, and it was just really cool to see hands-on the kids thinking about different types of jobs, because the STEMinist Force is also job focused, but with female pioneers in those jobs.
Yes, awesome. And I feel like that's great that you're showing them at such a young age too, so they can already gauge like what they could possibly do in their future too at like elementary school levels. So.
Right, and we're just scratching the surface here, because I mean the possibilities possibilities are endless.
Yes, yes. And I know that was probably awesome for your son. Like your mom is reading to your class and wrote this book. So that's such a cool thing for him.
He's very sweet. He's very
Yes.
supportive.
And so why was this so important for you to write this book on STEAM careers and that representation for kids? And for people that may not know, can you explain a little more about what STEAM and STEAM careers are?
So STEAM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Honestly, it's more about imagination and envisioning possibilities. I know when I was a kid, I went through a gazillion different jobs that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a veterinarian and an astronaut, and at one point, I wanted to be a teacher, and so that actually came to fruition. And so for me, it's not necessarily about education so much as just introduction and encouraging kids to envision themselves. So like the lesson ideas I have for teachers on my website for Stimulus Force encourages, after you read the book, for the children to envision themselves as one of those careers, be it a geologist or a horticulturist. And the lesson that I'll be releasing soon for What Will I Be from A to Z encourages, especially kindergarten, pre-K through second grade, to do the same, but to create like a little name badge. And we always have lessons every year in elementary schools for Career Week, and even at the high school level, we think about College and Career Week. And so that is something that I did think about as far as like the practicality of the book. But I like the idea of having a book that you can have in the classroom, in a library, but also for bedtime imagination. It's like thinking about ideas with parents.
Yeah, a very well-rounded book that you can have. So yes, awesome. And so the book is very beautifully illustrated by Anna Doherty, right? Doherty, yes. And so what was that collaboration process like? Did you guys do both books together?
So the publisher's Familius, and their whole program for their books is helping families be happy, and so they actually found Anna, and I really didn't have any input in that, but when I saw the samples that she had drafted up initially with the Stimulus Force, I was like, oh, it's going to be good. I was very excited. And then when they bought the rights to the second book, and I saw that she was also going to be the illustrator in that, and I was just thrilled. So I had ideas in my head, and without even really communicating, we communicate now, but she brought everything to life in a way that's so colorful and fun and inviting and diverse, and I love that.
Yeah, it's a great way for kids to be able to interact, because I know sometimes they just need those photos to go with the words. So
right, exactly. You see the word horticulturist and you're like,
what?
I don't know what that means.
And it's helpful too for the parents, because they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that is what that is.
Right.
And so how do you hope this book impacts children when they see themselves reflected in these diverse careers?
So I just to have fun, to keep learning. I think we sort of have this idea that there's a limit. You have to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or any of these big jobs, but there are so many jobs that make our society successful. And to just scratch the surface and think, what else is there? Like, I like medicine, but I don't want to be a doctor. Well, maybe an x-ray tech. That could be something that I really like doing. And just keep learning. That's the big takeaway for anything that I write, really, is to keep learning.
Yes, and I love that you said that, because I do know a lot of kids, they think it's like, okay, doctor, teacher, like those main things, but there's so many things they probably don't know exist.
Right,
so, yes.
Exactly.
And things they might learn that they like, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize there was a career in this. So
yes. Exactly.
Yeah, so I love how you're helping them tap into different things, different parts of their imagination, and helping them realize like that there's so many other options out there. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, and so why do you think this is important for STEAM careers to be introduced at a younger age?
Honestly, again, for that imagination purpose. Especially in Huntsville City Schools, we have some really great magnet programs. So that could, if you discover early that you like Legos, well, then that can feed into engineering, and they have, Lego League and all these different programs that matriculate into high school levels. But it's more so about kids finding an interest. I think obviously there's a practical side to jobs.
Right.
You have to make money to pay your bills, but why not make money doing something that you love,
right,
and that you're interested in, that can help other people even, and so just that's the practical side of this.
Yes, awesome. And so how do you see your books helping kind of bridge that gap with the lack of like representation in some fields? How are you hoping your book can kind of bridge that gap a little bit?
Any kid should be able to envision themselves in any work, in any job. I know historically there have been exclusions, but that doesn't mean that there should be.
Right.
And so whether you're a boy or a girl or whatever your ethnicity is, I think it's important to know that there is a place for you, and if it's something that you like, then you should work toward that and hopefully achieve your goals, and make changes if changes need to be made.
Yes, I love that so much, and I think your book, even just from the illustrations alone, I can tell that is the big message in that. So
right, absolutely.
Yes. And so a STEMinist Force that came out in 2024, and so how was that experience? How did that kind of influence your second book, and how are they different and alike? And if people want to read both, like how would you recommend that?
Sure. So a STEMinist Force, it's kind of funny because I actually sold this one first to the publishers, and then they printed this one first.
Okay.
So it kind of flip-flopped, but it worked out because the STEMinist Force is all about celebrating the female pioneers in STEM. So it uses rhymes, and it has really the illustrations focus on highlighting women who have paved the way for different types of STEM jobs in particular. So Kalpana Chawla for NASA, the astronaut.
Yes, that's so amazing, and I think it's great too because I know like a lot of men are seen in like the roles of engineers and things like that, but seeing that there's women that can do these jobs too, it can show a little girl like, okay, I can do that too. So.
Right, and I see that in the classroom in a very practical way. 50% of our students are female, and they're doing the engineering, and they're doing the computer science and the biomedical technology, and they have all these internships, and they're writing code, and they're creating some pretty remarkable machines in their robotics programs, and I'm like, that's really awesome.
Yes.
And I wish that I had those opportunities when I was in high school. I love what I do, but you never know what could have been.
Exactly, right. And I think it's great that you still, even though you didn't get the chance to do it, now you can make that happen for the next generation. So.
Well, and honestly, they're making it happen for themselves.
Yes.
I just have the pleasure of sort of watching it and teaching them in this brief, 1 or 2 semesters that they're in my class. But they're doing the work.
Yes, absolutely. And do you see yourself continuing this path of writing future books like this?
I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah. So publishing is it's a competitive industry, and there are so many amazing ideas out there, and so trying to find the next inspiration. I have lots of manuscripts that I hope will one day find a home.
Yes, I hope so too.
Well,
I can definitely see this becoming like a whole little series. So
I would love it if it did.
Yes. And outside of writing and teaching, do you do like school visits, speaking engagements, and stuff that people can see you at to hear more about this?
I do. I'll actually be at the Family Book Festival downtown Madison tomorrow, or on Thursday, with Blue Apple Books. So I'll be there with my books and several other children's authors. And then I have a couple of other events coming up. It's hard for school visits just because I am in the classroom
a teacher,
at the same time as everybody else.
Yeah.
But I love to do what I can.
Yes, awesome. And what do you ultimately hope kids and even parents and educators can take away from your books?
Never stop learning.
Yes.
Never stop learning. The possibilities are endless. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yes,
I might change. I don't know. Like I said, I love teaching, but maybe something else, at some point. And just keep thinking.
Yes, awesome. And I do think it's a great way for educators to keep learning and parents to keep learning. Like you said, for bedtime, reading, like parents can also learn about all these different careers and look into it and inspire their kids to keep pushing forward. So,
well, thank you. I hope so.
Yes, I hope so too. And so what's next for you, like in your author education career? Are you just going to keep, teaching, or are you hoping maybe in the future to do other things outside of writing that also can help with STEAM and careers and children figuring it out?
Right. For the future, the plan is to stay in the classroom. I love what I do. I love my kids. I work at an incredible school with incredible people, and I plan on doing that for books. Keep writing. I keep notepads everywhere for ideas that come to me.
Yes, and that's such a great idea too, so you don't lose track of it, and you never
Because
know
it
where it
happens.
can. Yes, oh yes, it definitely does when there's so many things going on, and yes. And so how can families, teachers, or libraries get a copy of your books?
So they are available, of course, at our local bookstores, Snail on the Wall and Blue Apple Books. They are, you can buy them at Barnes & Noble, and then also through Amazon and the Familius website.
And is there a way for families or teachers to connect with you through like social media, email, or anything if they just want to learn more from you?
Absolutely. I have a website. It's laurawcarter.com, and I'm on Instagram at LWCWrites.
Yes, awesome. Okay, and yeah, I know there's probably so many families and educators that probably just want to learn more, maybe lesson plans that they can incorporate from your books. So I hope people will connect with you.
And I have Teacher's Guide posted on my website.
Yes, awesome. Okay, and so probably some engineering or any type of teachers that are in science, they could probably implement your lessons into their things. So,
well, definitely for the lower grades. For
yes,
elementary.
lower grades.
Right.
Yes. And is there anything else you would like to add? Anything we maybe haven't touched on?
No, I really appreciate you inviting me to talk.
Yes, thank you so much. This is awesome, and I'm very excited. I actually want to read them myself. So.
Thank you.
Yes, and so thank you all for tuning into 48 Now. Laura W. Carter's What Will I Be from A to Z book is available now for purchase, and it is perfect for classrooms, libraries, and families looking to encourage children to dream big about their futures. And so be sure to connect with Laura and her future projects and grab your book today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.